You have to deliver the space with working AC. I'm not going to spend money on new equipment and have folks go in there and, end up drenched in sweat. I wouldn't send my worst enemy into a laundromat like that.
Hello.
Ed, how's it going?
Hello. I'm good. Who is it?
Danny D'Angelo. We talked about a month ago
Hello?
reference to your we talked about a month ago in reference to your building.
Oh, uh-huh.
So you said you were in the process of selling the building, and my interest is in the laundromat, Ed. I'm interested in building out another store.
Yeah.
Your business, whether or not the sale goes through or not, we just want to sign a lease in the space and retool it, put some new equipment in.
Yeah, I remember our conversation. In fact, I didn't recognize you. I put you in the phone here, but I didn't recognize I was actually on the phone to someone else and got off the line here. At this point, I hadn't done anything, and I don't know that I'm going to do anything in the next 6 months. But I've got your number. I remember our conversation. You want to just bring everything up to date and do a lot of changes, and I understand that. And it's not that I don't want to do that, but I'm not ready to do that now. So, but
Okay.
if I've got your number, we decide to do that, I'll give you a buzz back.
So when we talked about a month ago, you said that you were selling the building. Is that just an idea, a thought?
I bet you can squeal. I bet you can squeal like a pig. Oh, what squeal? Squeal now. Squeal. Squeal. Squeal louder. Louder.
Well, no, I got people that's showed interest in this property. They warm up, they cool off, they warm up, they cool off, and they got the means to do it. And they're actually it's right next door to me, the Whataburger. They think they want to buy it.
Yeah.
And then they want to expand what they got, but they don't ever seem to do anything. And this is going on for some time, but we spoke recently, and if it happens, it happens. And if it don't, well, then we'll talk about, updating what we got. So,
well, I can help you. I can also put another bug in your ear, Ed. Imagine you sign a lease with us, then you've got what is a brand new shiny laundromat, then sell the building. Obviously, if you're looking for a specific investor who wants to also run a laundromat, that's an option you're keeping open now. But the preponderance of investors don't really understand. And the Whataburger certainly doesn't want a laundromat.
No, they're not. No.
So, just something to think about. No pressure either way. But at the end of the day, if you do it takes us about a year to do the retool. And then you've got this big, beautiful, I don't intend to run the place anywhere near what your current guy's doing. I think you get that.
Oh, I understand.
24 hours.
He's not doing any good. He's not doing any good at all. But, it's one of those deals he can't just pick up and move out because where would he go, So,
well, he squeezed
I understand.
He squeezed the lemon dry. It's not picking up and moving. It's leaving because the equipment is junk. It's not worth anything.
Yeah.
No,
I understand. I understand that. But anyway, I got your number. If I get interested in that, I'll give you a call back. Appreciate
Ciao.
you.
Thanks for watching. We're interrupting this landlord beatdown to talk about Vegas. Oh, I love that sound. There's nothing like the craps table and throwing these $100 checks down at 3 a.m. Shelly on my arm, cigar in my mouth, and guess what? I play dice. You want to join us in Vegas? Come out. We're hanging out this January the 13th. The link is in the description. We're going to take this $2,000, throw it down on 7, and turn it into a couple of $100,000. Let's be serious for a moment. Have you ever been to an industry conference? Well, this is the best there is. Forget about me. I'm just your master of ceremonies. Who do I want you to hang out with? How about Luke and Lee Williford? 80 laundromats within them. They are building the fastest growing chain in the United States right now. These guys are doing $500,000 a month net, a quarter at a time. It's real. You'll sit with them. You'll hear them speak at the Roundtable Conference. You know Investment Joy, my buddy Brandon Schlichter. He'll be there. Hang out with him. Watch him speak for an hour if he doesn't run on for a few. From poverty, being evicted, to millions. And we've got Chris Atkins, another good friend, who bought my silly DVD all the way in Australia when he was 17. Well, he turned that into free, not laundromats, but free car washes. Free car washes in Los Angeles, imagine that. How about Keenan? You know, following Keenan, this is a guy that I want to hang out with in my garage, have a beer, and wrench on some Harleys. Speaking of Harleys, how about our good buddy, Joe Dan Reed? He's got 9 stores in Kentucky. He started to realize that he enjoys scooping up free laundromats, building them up, and selling them. Nothing wrong with that. Last but not least, among our speakers, the famous ones, my buddy Dan Albrand. You know him as Hot Doggin' with Dan. This guy's a serial entrepreneur. I got him into a free laundromat. Never heard his name until he sent me an email. He grabbed my silly course, did it. He didn't want to retool. He had other things going, other irons in the fire, so guess what? Sold the place, walked away with $35,000 in cash. Guys, if you've never been to a professional conference before, if you're not a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, a candlestick maker, this is the conference that you need to get your ass to. Vegas, the Circa. Grab your ticket, start writing off every detail. Your plane, your train, your automobile. Hell, buy yourself a new tux. Meet us in Vegas. I look forward to shaking your hand. Now back to your regularly scheduled landlord beatdown. You know, I got on the phone a couple of months ago with some brand new clients in Tennessee, and it's this couple, and they've got a huddle around the phone, and they want to, you know, talk about the way it's going to work. And they told me, Danny, you can't just talk to people in Tennessee the way that you do everywhere else. It's different here. It's different here.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
That being said, I can't help myself but say, look, man, at the end of the day, Whataburger wants to buy it. Okay, great. Whataburger doesn't want that property or they would have bought it. If they thought there was oil
Right.
in on the back 9, they would have bought it. If they thought it was something that
Right.
would behoove them, they would have bought it. They drag their feet because they're not really intrigued. Well, come on, Ed. This is the nerve that needs to be pressed. So make sure you put that conversation and what it means directly into the notes. He's an older guy. It changes. And so that psychology comes in too. But, oh yeah, I got your number. Oh, he knows he has a horrible tenant, but the only reason he wouldn't want us in there is so that he can sell it to a potential operator / landlord, someone that wants a building and a laundromat. So, you know, set your calendar for
Right.
6 months and we'll call him back because he said in 6 months, I will be ready
Yep.
to do something, perhaps.
Yeah,
What,
next time we'll
do we have
talk
anything
about
else?
this.
What page are we going to here? Let's get this thing done. I'm making assumptions here, but I don't think she's going to have any money. I don't think she's going to be throwing in any tenant improvement money, rent abatement aside. But this is basically let's get you collecting rent. And the more time that goes by, the more that a gal like this is thinking, gee, you know, I need to do something. I'm sweeping the floors in here and it's doing me no good whatsoever.
Oh, it's closed. This location is closed.
Yeah.
She's kind of given up on it.
Yeah.
So
All right, here we go.
Hello?
Lucy, please.
Hello? This is she.
Lucy, it's Danny, the laundry guy. How you doing?
Hey, Danny.
So
Hey.
we want to get you a rent check and get this place retooled over here and throw some equipment in.
Who is we?
Myself and my partner Christy.
Who is Christy? I never heard of Christy.
Well, how have you ever heard of me?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out too.
Okay.
Who are you?
My name is
Tell
Danny.
me who you are.
My name is Danny D'Angelo. We spoke.
Oh,
weeks ago.
D'Angelo. I remember. Yeah, you spoke and you're supposed to leave me a text message or email or something like that, and you never did. Right. Now I know who you are, D'Angelo. I remembered it by D'Angelo, but I never heard back from you. Nothing like that. So I just figured that you were probably a crank. You know what I mean?
I
Because I
understand.
get a lot of those.
Sure, I understand the sentiment, but I'm not a crank. I apologize. I have your email address. I probably forgot to send it. So would you like an email with photos of my stores?
I mean, that's fine if that's what, if that's what you want to do, but I'm not really sure where we were or where we're at.
Well,
So
we
let's
didn't go
talk.
into.
Where are we?
Sure. Okay. To reiterate, I've been in the laundry business for 20 plus years. You own a building, and that building has infrastructure for a laundromat. So myself, my
Okay.
partner, I'll CC her in the email. We would like to sign a
Okay.
long-term lease, 15-year minimum, spend
Okay.
a few $100,000 on washers and dryers, and then
Okay.
change everything about that laundromat. If I wasn't clear, I apologize. I have better things to do than crank call and make these business accusations. That's just not what I do. You
Okay.
would be collecting that rent.
First of all, don't take that personal. I'm only going by what I received in return. Okay. So it's not about being personal or anything like that. It's just that I never did hear back from you one way or the other. So
Sure.
please don't take it personal.
No,
or
not
negative,
at all.
Okay.
It's certainly not. Till we shake hands and we sign a lease, even then it's not personal, it's business. At the end of the
Absolutely.
day, I spaced on sending you an email. I apologize. I can do that when I hang up. I can't do two things at once. I can't chew gum and pat my head at the same time. But this is a real offer. We can start at 80 cents a square foot and have normal rental increases. But I need to find out from you exactly what that is. I don't know if there's going to be any tenant improvement money coming from you. I don't know if the rent abatement period will make sense for us. But we need to start with the rate of rent.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, because even at the time that we were talking back then, I did not have it available for you. I also, there's another thing that I need to also keep in mind, and that is if you by chance put in these thousands of dollars worth of equipment, then of course my taxes are going to go up tremendously at the end of the year. So, which means essentially I'm in a lose-lose situation because I make nothing for that whole year. If you understand what I'm saying, my property taxes will go up significantly. You're welcome, sir. Okay, so that's another thing I need to keep.
So you're a tax professional, aren't you?
I am.
Okay. So educate me.
And that's why.
Educate me if you don't mind. How would I'm not talking about infrastructure here. I'm talking about F&E. I'm talking about furnishings and equipment. So
okay,
I look for a 15-year term minimum because I'm doing a 7-year depreciation on equipment, but that's not going to elevate your property value.
It's going to elevate it from the standpoint of personal property taxes, personal property, not real estate, personal property.
But you won't have any different personal property whatsoever. That's not your property. It's furnishings and equipment. That's just like if a dollar store moved into rented space and they brought in truckloads and truckloads of items, dollar fly swatters, let's say, those widgets aren't your property. It's the property of that dollar store.
So basically, you're saying that becomes your tax problem. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's not a problem.
So
I've got enough stores that, I have an accountant. I'm not certainly a tax professional, but I've never has my involvement in rented space raised the property taxes. The property taxes.
I said personal property taxes. I'm saying personal, sir.
Well,
please understand the difference.
Yeah, I do. The only
There's a difference here in Texas. In Texas, there is. Now, I don't know where you are now, but I know that we get.
I'm calling you on my cell phone, and so that's another disconnect. So we are local. Okay. You can't run a laundromat from outside the state. Let's just back up. You have a space, and I don't know if you have a mortgage or if you own the building or what the scenario is, but what we are offering here is a long-term rent check so that we can operate another successful laundromat. That cannot be a bad thing in any way, taxes or otherwise. The only thing that would change for you personally is the fact that you'd be collecting a rent check, and sure, you'd have to pay taxes on that, but if you've got a strip mall with 37 spaces, I think you're better off when you have 37 tenants instead of 37 vacancies. Again, I'm not a
Absolutely.
tax pro.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay. So 80 cents per square footage. And I thought it was around 14 something square footage. I can go back to check to be for sure. I'm sure, I'm sure you probably know for sure by now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I haven't measured the space. I know that it has the appropriate connections. The reason we started all of this is because the gas, water, and electric is in the space. Let's start there. I mean, the earth cooled, the dinosaurs came. Is that your TV? It's really hard to hear you.
Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Bottom line,
Right.
we would like to become your tenant, sign an agreeable lease, spend the money on washers and dryers. What we need from you is the lease and the understanding that the air conditioning will be delivered in good order, that
No, sir. You can stop right there. That's not going to happen. So you can stop right there. The air conditioner will not be delivered in good order.
okay, I'll
Because
stop
I've
right
been there
there.
since 2000. Yeah, I've been there since 2010, and the air conditioner has never worked.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not gonna.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not going to.
Lucy, can
I'm
I
not
be
going to
your
deceive you.
Sure. No, can I be your advocate for just a minute?
Sure.
Okay. What's your goal for that space, just the laundromat space? What's your goal?
I don't know.
Okay.
Not today. I don't know.
Okay.
I have not thought it. I have not thought it out. Neither have I thought it through.
So who you have on the
If you give
telephone
me
is who you have on the phone is someone that's willing to put a letter of intent in your hands and get you back to landlording in that space and collecting a rent check. If that rent is $1,000 a month, do the math. You're the accountant. So 12 months in a year, hell, we'll do a 20-year lease.
12,000. That's 12,000. That's only 12,000.
Only
And I'm not
12.
gonna stay
Sure.
there.
So let's increase it to
Only
$1,500.
12,000.
Sure. Let's increase it to $1,500 a month. I'm talking about the relationship between a tenant and a landlord. So you're
And
banking
landlord, okay.
you're banking that money, and you need to understand I won't come in and spend the money on anything that's not going to elevate my business, such as air conditioning or fixing the roof or things like that. And let me go a little
I
further.
understand, sir.
I know. I hope
Okay.
so. Let me go further. If you were to say to me, I don't want a laundromat, what would be your next best guess at what type of tenant you'd want? I mean, shoot for the stars. Who would you like to have in that space?
Sir, I have not given that any thought.
Okay. I'm Danny.
I really have
I'm
not.
Danny. You can call me Danny. Sir makes
Okay,
me
Danny,
nervous.
I really. Okay, Danny, I have not really thought about it.
Okay.
I'm being 100% honest with you. I know you're a tenant who's looking to do whatever you need to do. You got your plans together and all of the above, okay? However, I understand that, but as of now, you and I talking right now, I have not thought that through at all.
Well, this is just a
Period.
conversation, and so let's say this. I'm talking about a scenario. So imagine I don't know what a great tenant looks like. If it's not a laundromat, maybe, I don't know, it's an optometrist. Maybe it's an eye doctor, right? So if you
Maybe.
were to say, hey, I'd really like to have an eye doctor fresh out of college who went to an Ivy League school, and he's going to come in here and he's 27 years old and he's going to have a 15-year practice. Okay. If that tenant comes to you and approaches you, you're not going to have air conditioning in an optometrist's office? You see
I
how
would tell him, sir, that's not going to be part of what I will provide. If you want the building, sir, this is what I'm telling him, and this is what I'm telling you as well. If you want the building, it will come without the air conditioning.
But I'm your advocate. I'm wearing a different hat. I'm being your advocate. Who do you think's going to sign that?
Okay, that's great.
Who's going to sign that lease?
If nobody signs it, so be it. If nobody signs it, so be it. This is just where I am today.
Got it.
I've already checked. I've checked in all of those years that I occupied the business. I know what it took. I had estimates at least every 3 to 4 years for air conditioning. At that particular point in time, I did not have the money for the estimates that were given to me. As of today, I still don't. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you.
Sure. No, I
I'm not
appreciate
going to
that.
do it.
It's heartbreaking, frankly. But
It's not trustworthy.
Sorry?
And it's not trustworthy. You can't go into relationships like that. I don't, anyway.
I'm
find a
not sure
bridge.
what it has to do with trust. If you're looking for someone to come in and sign a lease, then you can literally go to the bank and say, look, I have this long-term lease. They're retooling
That's
the
not
store.
true, sir.
Oh, okay.
That's not true.
I'm going to send
I
you
can't
that
do
email as promised. I apologize that I didn't send it the last time. I must have spaced on it. And I'm going to CC my partner, Christy. I want you to understand that this is money in the bank when it comes to us. We're looking to build another store there. And I wish you well in all things. It's not the end of it, but when you get in a different position and you want to talk terms and be realistic, we're here to do that.
I am being very realistic.
Sure.
That's what you don't get. I'm being very
I get it.
realistic.
But I would never
I
sign
really
a
am.
long-term lease with a landlord who can't uphold the basics of rented space. That's all.
Okay, well, and that's understood. I understand what you're saying, sir.
And I'm also on the flip side of that, I'm really trying to help you to understand that at the end of the day, that lease is gold because you've got someone willing to do that. It's a symbiosis. It's a symbiotic relationship where the tenant comes in and says,
let me explain to you what that lease would mean to me, okay? Let me explain what that lease would mean to me based on what you're trying to get me to do.
I'm not
Okay?
trying to get you to do anything.
Let's not be, I'm really trying to have a good conversation here. I'm not trying to be sarcastic, facetious, or any of that other stuff, okay? I really am. And I'm trying to be truthful and honest with you, which I know most business people are not today. But if you can't appreciate that, then you're right. We don't need to continue this conversation. We really don't.
Did we lose? You were about to say something, which was what?
Which is this. Let's say hypothetically, using the numbers we've already used, the $1,500 a month, just hypothetically using those numbers, okay? 15 times 12 is what? Whatever it is.
3 million.
Okay, basically, no, it's not. $1,500 a month times 12 months is what? Whatever it is what it is. My point is this: essentially, I've absolutely made no money.
So Lucy,
because all of my money is going to the air conditioning.
You're the landlord. You need to tell me what is commensurate and appropriate rent, not only for the area, but for your needs. So call this a negotiation, if you will. You keep saying no, no, no. Instead,
no, I didn't say no. I said no as far as the air conditioning. And you told me I cannot.
Oh, well, that's a non-starter. But if you say, well, I need $3,000 a month in rent for the next 15 years, then I could afford AC. Then that's the way Walmart operates. That's the way Kmart operates. That's the way JCPenney. Oh, JCPenney went away. Kmart went away. Walmart's still there because they're the world's largest retailer. So if you want to think
hold on 1 minute. If it's too much for you, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But I understand what you're saying. And if that is indeed the case, I can sit down, put the numbers together, but only I can sit down and put the numbers together for you.
Excellent. I'm going to send you an email. I'll CC my partner and come up with what makes sense for you in order to be a responsible party in this symbiosis. You know, you have to deliver the space with working AC. I'm not going to spend money on new equipment and have folks go in there and, end up drenched in sweat. I wouldn't send my worst enemy into a laundromat like that. You get it. You ran the place. Good.
I ran it, but you know what? And this is the difference between me and you. The difference is I did not charge them an arm and a leg, and they understood why.
How do you know what I charge for?
Problems.
Hold on. I don't even know what that means. The difference between you and me. Let's be amicable a couple of times here. None of this is personal. We've never met. If you want to lease this space to a laundromat, I'm your best bet. I'll send you an email. Think about what you need to collect in rent.
Okay, let's do that.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That lady's bipolar at the very, very least.
She was so nice the first time we talked, and I think she was stressed out, had some stuff going on based on background noise, but
Stuff going on. She was walking from room to room with the TVs. I don't know, dude. I can't speculate, but she had her heart in her throat during part of that call. It's like, this is amicable. Urea and my personal property taxes are going to go up if you no my personal tax.
No.
Would you let her handle a yard sale, much less your taxes?
No.
I don't know what 1,500 is times 12, but it's something.
18,000.
Well, I know that.
By the way,
I don't.
Property. It's listed separately on the appraisal district.
I know.
I've seen
She's complete. Okay. Here's the bottom line. This isn't personal. It's got nothing to do with her. I don't know if she inherited the building. She ran the laundromat for a very long time. We know that. We also know that.
Yes.
She's scared to death to do anything, and it just seems like you have to catch her at the right time. She turned that TV off, and then there was another one. Is she running like an old folks' home, and she's going from room to room delivering pudding? I don't know. It's time for the Jell-O pudding pop. Okay, I will send her the email as promised. But, my inclination is someone like this, it's going to get very, very personal. Imagine if you were 2 weeks late on rent, what would happen with someone like that? I caution people, be careful when personalities get involved. Like, wow, oof. But the difference between you and me is what you charge? What? What?
Yeah.
What? What do I charge?
I don't know. She was making some assumptions, I think.
I'm going to charge more than what you did because your equipment was literally falling apart and there's no air conditioning. And if it's 103 outside, it's 123 in there.
Right.
I honestly, I don't get emotional about this stuff, but if I think about it, how am I going to sleep at night? This is heartbreaking. It truly is. On to the next, as they say in the funny papers.
I'm pretty sure this hot water heater's got a few more good years left in it.